We're back in the Python pit, and we have run into a little problem with Python. The original creators of it only had a certain number of commands that they built into the code. So there are only so many things you can do with it. And then someone got creative and they said, whoa, what if we create our own commands for Python and make them available to the users? It's kind of like when you have a supplement to a book. What do you mean a supplement, Labutt? Well, I'm talking about when you get your yearbook in the spring of a school year and they haven't even finished the spring sports yet, so then they create a supplement. Not like a whole new book, but just a little extra in a tiny little book form that is sent to you after the fact. Well, they've made supplements similarly for Python, and there are various supplements that are actually called modules that you can import into Python, and it allows more commands and information to be used than the original Python ever had. One of these modules is called math. It's got a bunch of cool math commands that you can use. So what I'm going to do at the beginning of a program is tell Python, hey, I know you've got your own stuff, but I want you to bring in some other cool stuff by importing, I literally typed import there, a module called math. So go on the internet, find this math module that was written up, and bring it in for me, will you? And Python says, sure, I can do that. Boom. Of course, with math, I'm going to ask the user to type in something. Let's say I want the user to be able to calculate the circumference of a circle. I might ask them for input, like, let's see, I would need, since circumference is calculated by pi times the diameter, I'm going to need them to type in the diameter. So I shall make a variable called diameter and make that equal to some input from the user. Input. What is the diameter of the circle? Ooh, I made a little error. I want Python to take in a number because I plan to do math with it. And as soon as I put input, it's just going to treat whatever comes in like a string. So I got to tell it, hey, this is for math. So I need you to treat the incoming input as an integer because you're going to get a number. And I want to be able to do things with the number. So after Python asks for this diameter, let's just run it and make sure I've done it correctly. Okay, what is the diameter of a circle? 5. Great. But I haven't done anything else, so that's where we end on this program so far. Let's do something else. Let's have it actually calculate the diameter. Now, I'm sorry, the circumference. Circumference. Yeah, let's just make it circ. Circumference equals, it's pi times the diameter. Now I could be like, okay, 3.14 pi, but here's the problem. Pi's got a lot more numbers than that, and this is a simple example. In the future, we might want to do something more complicated, so let's see what this math module holds in store for us. It does literally have pi in the module. So all I got to do is type in math to tell it to look in the math module of extra Python commands and math.py. I want it to go to the math module and find the value of pi. And I'm going to have it multiply that times the diameter that was brought in. And then I want it to print this circumference. Let's see if it works. What's the diameter of a circle? Let's do 2. Oh! 2 times 3.14 would indeed be 6.28. It really worked. Yay! I imported commands from a module called math, and in order to make use of the commands in that module, I simply say math dot, and then I name one of the commands. or pieces of information, in this case, the value of pi. And so it brought in pi, which is 3.1415, blah, 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 blah. And I multiplied it by the diameter of the circle, and that gives me the circumference. And so it printed the circumference. Although this looks a little weird, nobody would ever want to see it. I think I'd want to print the circumference. You can see where I'm going with that is, and that yet. I'm not going to finish it off because you get where I was headed with that. I want it to literally say the circumference of the circle is 6.28. Okay, but that's enough for this Python Pit video. Have a great evening, or morning, or afternoon.